Welcome back to Mind Vault, the channel where we decode the software of the human mind. I want you to imagine a scenario. You walk into a room. You reach for your phone. You didn't decide to do it. You didn't think about it. Your hand simply moved. Why? You promised yourself you will stop eating sugar. But at 4 p.m., you find yourself at the vending machine. You watch your hand press the buttons, almost as if you are a passenger in your own body. Here is the question for this session. Who is actually driving the vehicle? Is it you? Or is it the code? Most people believe they are the masters of their destiny. They believe in willpower. They believe in motivation. But I am here to tell you that these are lies we tell ourselves to feel in control. The truth is much darker. Your brain is a prediction machine designed by evolution for a world that no longer exists. And in the modern world, that machine is being hacked. It is being exploited by algorithms, by food engineers, and by your own environment to keep you stuck in loops of failure. Today, we are going to open the manual to your own mind. We are doing a complete forensic deconstruction of Atomic Habits by James Clear. This is not a summary. This is a reprogramming session. We are going to look at the biology of addiction, the mathematics of compounding, and the architecture of belief. We will uncover how the British cycling team used a philosophy of marginal gains to conquer the world, how a single woman predicted a heart attack just by looking at a face, and how you can reverse engineer the psychology of drug addiction to master your own life. Stay with me until the very end, because I'm going to ask you a question about your shadow identity, the hidden belief system that is currently sabotaging your success, and I want to see your answer in the comments. Let's descend into the vault. Let's begin with a story about the mathematics of failure. For 100 years, British cycling was the laughingstock of the athletic world. Since 1908, British riders had won just a single gold medal at the Olympic Games. They had fared even worse in the Tour de France. In 110 years, no British cyclist had ever won the event. In fact, the performance of British riders had been so underwhelming that one of the top bike manufacturers in Europe refused to sell bikes to the team because they were afraid it would hurt their brand image if other professionals saw the Brits using their gear. Then, in 2003, everything changed. They hired a man named Dave Brailsford. Brailsford was different. He didn't give speech after speech about passion. He was a strategist. He believed in a concept he referred to as the aggregation of marginal gains. He explained it like this. The whole principle came from the idea that if you broke down everything you could think of that goes into riding a bike and then improve it by 1%, you will get a significant increase when you put them all together. Most people look for the silver bullet. Brailsford looked for the dust. They redesigned the bike seats to make them more comfortable. That's obvious. But then they went deeper. They rubbed alcohol on the tires for a better grip. They asked riders to wear electrically heated overshorts to maintain ideal muscle temperature while riding. They tested different types of massage gels to see which one led to the fastest muscle recovery. They hired a surgeon to teach each rider the best way to wash their hands to reduce the chances of catching a cold. They determined the type of pillow and mattress that led to the best night's sleep for each rider. They even painted the inside of the team truck white. Why? So they could spot little bits of dust that would normally slip by unnoticed but could degrade the performance of the finely tuned bikes. The result? Just 5 years after Brailsford took over, the British cycling team dominated the road and track cycling events at the 2008 Olympic Games in Beijing, winning an astounding 60% of the gold medals available. 4 years later, in London, they set 9 Olympic records and 7 world records. From the laughter of Europe to the domination of the world. How? This brings us to the first dark fact of human psychology. We are terrible at understanding nonlinear math. We think that if we work hard for a day, we should see a result. We look in the mirror after one workout and we see nothing. So we quit. We are victims of the gap. Here is the math of your life. If you get 1% better each day for 1 year, you end up 37 times better by the time you are done. Conversely, if you get 1% worse each day for 1 year, you decline nearly down to 0. Your habits are the compound interest of self-improvement. The same way that money multiplies through compound interest, the effects of your habits multiply as you repeat them. They seem to make little difference on any given day, and yet the impact they deliver over the months and years can be enormous. But there is a trap. James Clear calls it the plateau of latent potential. Imagine an ice cube sitting on a table in a cold room. It is 25 degrees. You heat the room. 26 degrees. The ice cube is solid. 27 solid. 28 29. 30 31. Still nothing. You have been putting in energy. You have been heating the room with your effort, your diet, your reading. But you see no result. You feel like a failure. Then, 32 degrees. The ice begins to melt. A 1 degree shift, seemingly no different from the temperature increases before it, unlocked a huge change. When you are struggling to build a habit, you are not failing. You are simply in the temperature range of 26 to 31 degrees. You are storing potential energy. You are in the valley of disappointment. This is where 99% of people give up. They expect linear progress. But powerful things are not linear. They are exponential. Cancer spends 80% of its life undetectable, then takes over the body in months. Bamboo grows underground for 5 years, building a root system, then shoots up 90 feet in 6 weeks. You must be willing to work in the dark for years to produce a success that looks like it happened overnight. Why do we fail to stick to these small changes? Why do we slide back? Because we are trying to change the wrong thing. There are 3 layers of behavior change. Layer 1, outcomes. This is what you get. Losing 10 pounds, publishing a book, winning a championship. Most goals are here. Layer 2, processes. This is what you do. The workout routine, the writing schedule, the meditation practice. Layer 3, identity. This is what you believe. Your worldview, your self-image, your judgments about yourself. Most people try to change from the outside in. They focus on the outcome. I want to stop smoking. Imagine two people resisting a cigarette. When offered a smoke, the first person says, "No thanks. I'm trying to quit." It sounds reasonable, but decipher the code behind that sentence. I'm trying to quit. This person still believes they are a smoker who is attempting to be something else. They are hoping their behavior will change while carrying around the same old beliefs. The second person declines by saying, "No thanks. I'm not a smoker." Small difference? No. Massive difference. This statement signals a shift in identity. Smoking was part of their former life, not their current one. They no longer identify as someone who smokes. The psychological fact: your brain is a consistency machine. It hates cognitive dissonance. It wants your actions to align with your beliefs. If you believe, "I am bad at math, I am always late," or "I have a sweet tooth," your brain will subconsciously sabotage you to make that statement true. You are enslaved by the story you tell yourself. True behavior change is identity change. The goal is not to read a book. The goal is to become a reader. The goal is not to run a marathon. The goal is to become a runner. The goal is not to learn an instrument. The goal is to become a musician. But how do you change your identity? You cannot just lie to yourself. You can't look in the mirror and say, "I am a millionaire," if you are broke. Your brain knows the truth. You need evidence. Every action you take is a vote for the type of person you wish to become. No single instance will transform your beliefs, but as the votes build up, so does the evidence of your new identity. Every time you write a page, you cast a vote for writer. Every time you ignore the donut, you cast a vote for healthy person. You don't need a unanimous vote to win an election. You just need a majority. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to cast more votes for the new identity than the old one. Now we get to the mechanics. How do we program this machine? In 1898, a psychologist named Edward Thorndike threw cats into puzzle boxes. He watched how they learned to escape by pressing levers. He discovered the feedback loop. James Clear refined this into the 4 laws of behavior change. If you want to build a good habit, you must 1. Make it obvious. The cue, 2. Make it attractive. The craving, 3. Make it easy. The response, 4. Make it satisfying. The reward, if you want to break a bad habit, you invert them. 1. Make it invisible. 2. Make it unattractive. 3. Make it difficult. 4. Make it unsatisfying. Let's dismantle the first law. The human brain is a prediction engine. It is constantly scanning the environment, analyzing millions of bits of data, looking for cues that signal a reward. Consider the story of the paramedic. She walked into a family gathering, took one look at her father-in-law, and said, "You need to go to the hospital now." He felt fine. He joked about it. She insisted. They went to the hospital. A few hours later, he was in surgery for a major blockage to an artery. He would have had a massive heart attack. How did she know? She couldn't explain it. But after years of seeing heart failure patients, her brain had learned to spot the pattern of blood distribution in the face that signals a blockage. She saw the cue. You are doing this right now. You don't tell your hand to pick up the phone when it buzzes. The buzz is the cue. The behavior happens on autopilot. The problem is, most of our bad habits are triggered by cues we are not even aware of. You cannot change what you cannot see. Strategy 1. The habit scorecard, the Japanese railway system, uses a method called pointing and calling. Train operators point at signals and yell, "Signal is green." They point at the speedometer and yell, "Speed is 80." It looks ridiculous, but it reduces errors by 85%. Why? Because it forces the non-conscious habit into the conscious mind. You need to point and call your own life. Create a scorecard. List every habit you do from the moment you wake up. Wake up, check phone, brush teeth, scroll Instagram. Mark them as positive, plus, negative, dash, or neutral, happy smiley. Don't change them yet. Just observe. Oh, look at that. I am scrolling Instagram while I pee. Interesting. Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. Strategy 2. The implementation intention. Many people think they lack motivation when what they really lack is clarity. I want to work out more. Vague. Useless. I want to eat healthier. Meaningless. Research on 248 people building exercise habits showed that motivation didn't matter. Reading about heart disease didn't matter. What mattered was a specific plan. I will behavior at time in a location. I will meditate for 1 minute at 7 a.m. in my kitchen. I will study Spanish for 20 minutes at 6 p.m. in my bedroom. Give your habit a time and a place to live in the world. Strategy 3. Habit stacking. The Diderot effect. The French philosopher Denis Diderot lived in poverty until he bought a beautiful scarlet robe. Suddenly, his old rug looked ugly, so he bought a new rug, then a new chair, then a new table. This is the Diderot effect. One purchase triggers the next. We can use this chain reaction. After current habit, I will new habit. After I pour my coffee, I will meditate for 1 minute. After I take off my work shoes, I will put on my gym clothes. You are hacking your brain's existing neural networks. You are grafting a new branch onto an old tree. Strategy 4. Environment design. The invisible hand. Here is a dark truth. Environment is the invisible hand that shapes human behavior. In a study at Massachusetts General Hospital, researchers changed the cafeteria layout. They simply added water bottles to the refrigerators near the checkout and placed baskets of water near the food stations. They didn't talk to anyone. They didn't preach about health. Soda sales dropped by 11%. Water sales increased by 25%. People chose the water not because they had willpower, but because it was obvious. If you want to play guitar, but it's in a case in the closet, you will never play it. Put it on a stand in the middle of the living room. If you want to eat apples, don't hide them in the crisper drawer. Put them in a ball on the counter. If you want to stop checking your phone, do not rely on self-control. Self-control is a short-term strategy, not a long-term one. The people with the best self-control are typically the ones who need to use it the least. They design their lives so they are not constantly tempted. If you can't get work done, leave your phone in another room. If you play too many video games, unplug the console and put it in the closet after every use. Make the good cue obvious. Make the bad cue invisible. Now we enter the realm of desire. In 1954, neuroscientists James Olds and Peter Milner implanted electrodes in the brains of rats to block the release of dopamine. The results were terrifying. The rats lost the will to live. They wouldn't eat. They wouldn't mate. They died of thirst even though water was right there. Without dopamine, there is no desire. And without desire, there is no action. Habits are a dopamine-driven feedback loop. But here is the secret that social media companies know, and you don't. Dopamine is released during the anticipation of a reward, not just the receipt of it. The brain releases more dopamine when you expect a reward than when you actually get it. This is why the notification on your phone, the ding, is more addictive than the message itself. The craving drives the behavior. Junk food companies spend millions engineering supernormal stimuli. They look for the bliss point, the precise combination of salt, sugar, and fat that excites your brain and overrides your "I'm full" signals. Dynamic contrast. Crunchy on the outside, soft on the inside. Think Oreos or French fries. It tricks the brain into thinking the food is novel, so you keep eating. They are hacking your evolutionary software. How do we fight back? We must make our good habits attractive. Strategy 1. Temptation bundling. Ronan Byron, an engineering student, knew he needed to exercise, but he loved watching Netflix. He hacked his stationary bike and wrote a program that connected it to his laptop. Netflix would only play if he was cycling at a certain speed. If he slowed down, the show paused. He bundled what he wanted to do, Netflix, with what he needed to do, cycling. Formula. After habit I need, I will habit I want. After I call 3 clients, I will check ESPN. Strategy 2. The social norms. The tribe. We are herd animals. The lone wolf dies. The pack survives. We are programmed to fit in. We imitate the habits of 3 groups. 1. The close. Family and friends. If your friends smoke, you smoke. 2. The many. The crowd. If everyone looks at the elevator door, you look at the elevator door. 3. The powerful. Those with status. We copy successful people. The most effective way to build a habit is to join a culture where your desired behavior is the normal behavior. If you want to read, join a book club. If you want to run, join a running group. When you see others doing it, it becomes attractive. It becomes a signal of belonging. I am a reader becomes we are readers. The shared identity reinforces your personal identity. The dark side of social norms. Solomon Ash's experiments in the 1950s showed that 75% of people would give an obviously wrong answer to a question just because everyone else in the room did. We would rather be wrong with the crowd than right by ourselves. To fix a bad habit, you must make it unattractive. You must reframe the narrative. I get to wake up early instead of I have to wake up early. Alan Carr's easy way to stop smoking works not by increasing willpower, but by destroying the belief that smoking provides any benefit. He reframes the cue. He makes the habit unattractive by revealing it as a parasitic chain, not a stress reliever. We have covered the architecture of the mind. We have explored the 1% rule, the layers of identity, the power of cues, and the addiction of dopamine. But we are only halfway to the code. We still have to cover the law of least effort, why you are wired to be lazy and how to weaponize that laziness. We have to cover the law of satisfaction, how to trick your brain into enjoying pain. And we have to cover the advanced tactics, how to handle boredom, how to recover when you break the chain, and the truth about talent and genes. This script is already massive. To ensure you can absorb and apply this data, we are pausing the download here. Here is your assignment before part 2. Go to the comments. I want you to answer the question I asked at the start, but with a new understanding. What is one identity you are clinging to that is destroying you? Are you The procrastinator? The night owl? The stress eater? Write it down. I am not a smoker. Kill the old identity. If you want part 2 of this deep dive immediately, type upload part 2 in the chat. I'm waiting for your signal.